Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Ali Kamenova Yoga. I'm Ali, and today we're doing a healing class that will focus physically on forward bends and back bends. Again, forward bends and back bends are a very integral component of yoga and of movement in general. They counteract each other, they complement each other, they contrast each other, so they're good combined in a sequence. Spiritually speaking, forward bending represents surrender and falling into yourself, folding into yourself, looking inward. It's a more, it represents the inward journey. Which we're presented with in the current state of humanity. We're to turn inward and find the inner path. And back bends, on the other hand, are heart opening. They're called heart openers because it's very descriptive of their function, and physically and spiritually speaking. So however you look at it, movement in general is very healing, and forward bends are extremely beneficial because obviously they stretch the posterior chain, and we tend to, most people tend to have issues with their hamstrings shortening. When the hamstrings shorten, they throw out the spine, the lower back, the groin, the pelvis, etc. Everything is just one kinetic chain. Everything is interconnected, linked up together. If one thing is off, pretty much the whole chain is off, even though we'll most likely experience it in one place. So we're going to focus today. I want the different classes to be dedicated to different themes within yoga, within spirituality, or within movement, or even within body hacking, where there is shortcuts, there is ways that optimize movement, that optimizes effect and results. So today is healing and using forward and backward movements in its metaphoric meaning. Healing, just a quick note on healing, especially the spiritual side of healing. I was reading today some metaphysical lectures from Ben Saduno, and there was a few quotes that were pretty interesting, and I thought I'll insert them here. Whenever a person thinks or speaks about themselves without love for himself, herself, he begins to age. That's the slow path or the fast path to aging, and of course to dying or leaving that space, that sphere. Whenever a person speaks or thinks of their child without love, same, aging. So not only hatred changes our health, and we know that, hormonally can be explained, but also the absence of love does that. So we are to cultivate love, we are to cultivate gratitude, and the attitude of gratitude, where even when we're presented with difficulties, we're grateful for them, and there is a sense of lightness in the heart, joy in the heart, and that's where back bends come. Forward bends are more the surrender. It's almost like humility. It represents humility. We have one pose that's humble warrior, when there is head to the ground. So that is the representation of humility, which is surrender, a form of surrender. And the joy in the heart, both of those are states that we have to not only cultivate, but keep active and alive within us for as long as we're here on this earth. And another thing is to own our healing path, because I think with the popularization of New Age and healing, everything became very external. That was kind of its toxic or shadow side, where we could be the victim and we externalize the cause for our victimhood, right? Nothing is owned within, everything is outside. And because reality is very much based on perception, our recapitulation of the events would change based on what we convince ourselves at the moment. And that's not to say that nothing happened or no one did anything. That's not the point. The point is that as long as we turn things inward and within, as far as the healing journey goes, we're not going to have any significant healing jumps. It actually becomes a loop, an addiction, from one healer to the next, from one, I don't know, hypnotic session to the next, from one a modality to the next, and it's just this addiction to being treated like a victim. And once we realize, so from an astrological perspective, and I think that goes for other systems of looking into the psychology of people, because with astrology you can look at your makeup, how your psyche is composed. When you look at your chart, your parents are there, your enemies are in your chart, your struggles are in your chart. So in a way, it's within you. You come with this chart, and those parents and enemies and facilitators of suffering are just fulfilling your own path that you chose and that you need in order to grow. We grow. That's another quote from the lecture I was reading. We grow from the experiencing joy during suffering, and only through the accumulation of suffering. So basically, the more a person expands, the mental capacity grows. They're presented with more suffering, but it's how we look at it. And I do think we, as a whole, being in the densest part of our journey, our hero's journey into the spheres, into reality, suffering is a little exaggerated here on Earth. Our healing is slow. Everything tends to be very, very dense and physical. I get that. That's why I contemplate it. I get that it sometimes it feels wrong. I fully get that. And that's why I go deeper into the stepping out of myself, in order to understand it, in order to have a wider view of it. Why do we need to go through those things, right? And through those things is where we expand exponentially. So big subject, forward and backward bends. I'll do such long intros to very few of the classes during this program. I felt like, connecting with you today. And remember to flow with love, strength, and ease. Starting at the front of the mat, roll the shoulders back, drop them down, lengthen through the crown of the head. Take a few deep breaths. Whenever you have scattered mind, when you feel spacey, ground through the breath and through the physical foundation. Touch the earth or feel your feet, feel your pelvis. And let's bring the right hand onto what's called the solar plexus and the left hand onto the waist. And feel the energy moving between the hands, magnetic and electric, positive, negative, etc. You know the power of touch. Hands can be very healing. Deepen the breath. With each inhalation, we activate the sympathetic nervous system, a little more refreshed, active, ready to go. With each exhalation, especially if we slow them down, rest and digest. Parasympathetic response. And as you deepen, do diaphragmatic breathing, the diaphragm pushes on the heart and it either lets it expand or contract, and that is what affects actually the parasympathetic and sympathetic response. So learning diaphragmatic breath, slowing down the breath, very important, and also balancing the two systems. All right, so now bring your hands onto your belly, and we're really going to expand the belly as we inhale. Breathe into your hands as if you're trying to fill up the hands. Great. Hands behind the head without interlacing the fingers. Press the elbows away from each other. Drop the shoulders down. Lengthen and lengthen the upper back. So you want length. You're looking for length here. And now feel as if you're projecting your heart upward. Everything is expanding. There's space here, openness. Soften the jaw, soften the gaze, soften the face muscles. If you tend to hold tension in your neck, temples, temporal headaches, back of the head, that's related also to back of the head headaches, frontal headaches, etc., because it's the muscles are connected. Soften the head with intention. Great. Release this pose, reach up, and we're going to wrap the right hand back and around all the way onto the left thigh or the outside of the left thigh, and you're going to twist and reach here and reach up and be aware of your feet, because you're creating a lot of length from the fingertips all the way into the edges of the feet, the four corners of the feet. So we want to find the points of the feet. It's not one blob on the ground, but we're defining the energy points in the feet. We're placing weight, attention, intention in the four corners of the feet, if they're rectangles. All right, opposite side, reach. And lengthen. So with surrender, we have sweetness about life. One quote I forgot to mention is that the people that have longevity, they all have a sweetness of how they experience suffering. And that sounds kind of weird, right? But I remember I was watching a video on centenarians, people that live to be over 100, and one thing about them was they had one thing only in common, I would say, per my perception. All of them had a way of explaining what they've gone through with simplicity and softness and sweetness. They remember really harsh time of their lives. They've been through wars and all of that with sweetness, loss, grief, etc. So cultivating that sweetness, and when our liver becomes toxic, we become bitter and kind of joyless. We become just, you know, the man that ruined Christmas type of guy. So softness and sweetness, it softens us, it affects the liver well, also physically cleaning up the liver. All the physical stuff is gonna be in the articles below, all my physical kind of tips. They're not medical advice, they're just either things that work for me or just general ideas and tips about general things, such as morning hours of the sun, stuff like that, grounding, feet on the earth. So sit back in chair, lift your toes, activate the feet, and now first forward fold. Exhale, folding forward and hang here. Nice big exhalation. So in the forward fold, focus on your exhalations, just track your exhalations. And try not to control the inhalations. Let them be what they are. And pay attention to the exhalations. Slow down the exhalation. You feel here calming. I mean, if you feel pain in your hamstring, maybe it's keeping you less calm. Bend the knees, but it's a more of a calming move. Folding. Now you can wrap your wrists around the elbows and lay your chest onto your thighs. Bend your legs at the knees, and feel your head really hanging here without any support. You're not trying to control it, to keep it together. You're letting it just imagine the vertebra, the spine, everything decompressing, the space between the vertebra lengthening, things loosening up. All right, hands on the shin bones. Look ahead, pull the belly in, and you're lengthening from, hinging at the hips from the hips. The torso is lengthening away from the hips. Great. Here you're gonna spread the fingers open, step in, plank. Lower down onto your knees, onto your belly, cobra, elbows in. Don't straighten the hands, the arms. Sorry, keep everything soft here, and lengthen the entire back and neck. Open the chest as if you're beaming light through the chest. Exhale. Sit back in child's pose. You can have the palms of the hands facing each other, relaxing. All right, spread the fingers open onto all fours, and we're going to round and arch. Inhale as you arch and look up, open the chest, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and as you round the back, look towards the navel. And look up. With softening, we let go of a lot of things that stress people out, such as the need to be right. We're often wrong, and if we just accept that and not attach too much to every single idea we have, we pretty much free ourselves. We allow ourselves to explore. Rounding, arching, and neutral spine. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, open the hip, bend the knee, drop the foot behind you, lift, lift, lift. Drop it behind, wow thing. Flip the hips up, open the chest. And press your hips high. Opening, freeing the chest, the upper back, mid back. And from here, reverse the movement. Step your right foot between your hands. Square your hips and lower down here. Now you can have your front knee bend and keep your back straight. You can be a little higher here, as long as you're feeling the stretch through the hamstrings. You're good here. All right, from here, take a position for a high lunge. So you're gonna take a little wider stance, bend the right knee and come up. High lunge. Exhale your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Now, if this is difficult, if you can't grab your hands, you can grab your t-shirt, or you can run and grab a towel or strap, belt, anything that is strappy, and you can hold on to that. Open here, look up. Again, projecting through the heart, beaming through the heart. All of this may sound a little foofy and fluffy, but the reason why there is so much about virtue spoken through the ages is because it is the path. All right, from here, press back into your heel and lower down, humble warrior. So you're gonna bring your head towards your ankle and press back into your left heel. Exhalations again. Come halfway up, so chest parallel to the floor, and open the right shoulder up. A little bit of twisting today. And coming out of it. Here we're going to step at the front. This is a little bit more advanced, let's say level 2. So take it as far as you can. Grab your ankle, or sorry, your foot, but if you can't, you can grab your shin bone or ankle. Now if you're already grabbing your foot, try to straighten the leg, and if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. If you can straighten, you're gonna push the hip back, so the hip is not coming out in front of you, but you're keeping the hips square, and you're gonna lower down here. That is the advanced part, so you don't have to get to the final pose, but we're just having a little extra fun. All right, step it back. High lunge. Some of you did it, some didn't. It doesn't matter. Let it go. Just let it go. It's just yoga. We don't need to take it too seriously. Have a light heart about yoga, about your practice, about everything, about your story. All right, lower down. Plank. Shall we do chaturanga? You can do chaturanga, or you can do cobra from your knees. Up dog or cobra. Open. And child's pose. That's a very mild forward bend. And take the toes under, down dog, take the left leg up, open, lift. Drop it behind, wow thing. Open the chest, lift the hips. And reverse it. Step it through. And straighten the legs, level the hips. Square the hips. And lower down here. Nice deep breath. All right, step your right foot further back for a wide high lunge. High lunge. Exhale the hands behind you. Either interlace the fingers or grab your strap. Open. Look up. You can press your bottom lip and bottom jaw up. That stretches the neck, releases a little bit of the mentalis muscle, which points our the corners of the lips down, pulls down on the lips. That's a little bit from my face yoga vinyasa moves. All right, from here, lower down into humble warrior. Surrender. Inhale, coming halfway up, chest parallel to the floor, square the hips, open here, left shoulder up, lengthen to the crown of the head. Press into the back heel. And coming out, step at the front onto your left. Grab whatever you can grab. Ankle, foot, shin bone. If you're holding the foot, try to straighten to a degree or completely and lower down. And step it back into plank. Here we're gonna do a few wave-like motions. You're gonna bend the knees, round the back, push forward, bend, round, arch. Great. And knees on the ground, sit onto your heels, forward fold, child's pose. Softening yourself in child's pose, softening the mind. Sometimes we're the hardest judge on ourselves. And softening there in that habitual emotion, and allowing yourselves to love yourself, not as a fruity thing, just kind of like those new age things, but just truly and deeply with surrender. All right, spread the fingers open, tuck your toes under, press back, down dog. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Shake the head, let go of tension in the face. Inhale the right leg up, step it through, high lunge, come up. Here we're gonna step at the front, grab left hand to left ankle, and open here in dancer's pose. Again, opening through the heart. Coming up to standing and take three pose. Press your foot into the inner thigh into the foot, and just feel that connection. The action of them pressing into each other creates stability, balance. You can look at one focal point that stabilizes your mind, your focus, and you can merge your mind with that focal point of stillness for a split second. We're still moving, but just allow yourself to bring yourself into a focal point and to let everything else splash, dim away. From here, you are going to come out of tree pose, bend the right knee slightly, just keep it soft. And from here, take a wide step back into warrior two. So the right knee is facing directly forward. The outer edge of the foot is pressing down, lengthening, drop the shoulders down. Reverse the warrior here. Reach left hand down the left leg, right hand up. And straighten the right knee, reaching, elongating, and reach ahead, triangle pose. Opening externally, rotating the left hip here. And from here, you're going to bring your hands down and drop the back, the left knee down, flex your right foot and pull it back towards you for a hamstring stretch. Keep the back straight, the breath steady and soft and easy. All right, let's throw in a little twist here. Left hand down, right arm up. And one more forward fold. Great. Back to all fours and plank, chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga, down dog. Left leg comes up, step it through, high lunge. Step at the front, grab your ankle, do your best here. For some this is nothing, for others this is challenging. So have fun with the pose. It's about taking this time for self-care, to pay attention to you, to your body. Quiet down and coming out of this, open the knee and press the foot into the inner thigh. This type of self-care where you just take a little time for yourself is so important because it steadies your mind, so you're not spazzy and just scattered and electrified through the day. You're more grounded, steady. Your emotions are steady. It's just a better way to be and better for everybody in your life. I find time alone, yoga, just very centering for me personally, and everyone else says that. All right, coming out, bend the left knee and just take a nice round motion with the right knee. Take wide stance out. Left foot facing directly forward, the knee follows the exact same direction. You want to align your joints. The left knee is forward, the left foot is forward, rotating externally the right hip, pressing into the outer edge of the foot, the right foot. Drop the shoulders, soften the face, reverse it, right hand down, left arm up, soft shoulders, drop the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen. Straighten the lead knee, lift, 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 and come out. Triangle pose. Now for triangle, you can take slightly more narrow stance. It's entirely up to you here. You're going to press the hips back, open the right side of the body, the right rib cage rotates externally, the hip rotates, the legs are straight but not locked, so a slight bend is okay. And I exaggerated this a little, but you can feel softness in your knees, so they're not overextended. And reach and lower down onto the shin bone. Lengthening here, rotating, opening. You can reach over the head to palm facing down. All right, from here, we are going to bring the hands down and take the right knee down. Press the hips back, pull the toes back in towards you, and lower down here. Straight back again. Just the flexing of the toes really helps you stretch the calves. Keeping the back straight helps you stretch the hamstrings rather than keep it in the lower back and straightening the lower back. So straighten here. And we're going to take the right hand on the floor, left arm up, a little bit of a twist. And sit back, feet in front of you. You can remove the flesh from the sit bones, lengthen forward. Again, you can do this a few times where you just lengthen forward and hold. Strap can be used here, or you can just grab your ankles, your legs. And you can again take a breath, lengthen to the crown of the head and lower down. Here, straight back, feeling the hamstring stretching. Inhale, coming up, bring your left foot into the inner thigh, lower down. Breathe. Inhale, coming up, change sides. Again, pressing the foot into the thigh and the thigh back into the foot. Breathe as you stretch, lower down. Great. Inhale up, open the legs out and lower down again. Keep your back straight. You don't have to really lower down way too far. Flex the feet, hold here. Just feel the stretch. This is also groin, hamstrings, adductors, etc. So just feel the stretch, breathe into the stretch. As long as you're stretching, you may be here, you may be even here feeling the stretch. You don't necessarily have to make this pose look spectacular. As long as you feel a good needed stretch. That's the rule of thumb for me. Rule of thumb is it has to feel like a needed stretch. It may not be comfortable, but it cannot be painful. It has to feel like, I needed this. It's a little intense maybe, but it's the body is saying I needed this. This is kind of like I needed to move in this direction, in this way. All right, from here, lay down. You can roll onto your side and then lay onto your back, and we're gonna go into bridge pose, a back bend, a heart opener. Feet facing directly forward, pressing into all four corners of each foot, lifting the hips high, openness through the front of the body, anterior chain stretching here. And lower down, take a moment, knees together. Let's bring the legs up and over for plow, partial plow. Partial plow would be holding your booty, full plow. Top of the feet on the ground. Soften the back of the throat. Either stay here or go into shoulder stand if you're comfortable with shoulder stand. Excellent. Lower down. You can bring your knees into your chest. Right leg over the chest, left leg extends. This is a forward fold. Supine forward fold, change. Three pose, left leg into the right thigh, and here you can pretend that you're stepping on your foot and keep it in somewhat of a position as if you're stepping on the ground. If you were to shift into a standing position, that would be the position. Opening the hip here, a little bit of hip openers. Forward and back bend class, sprinkled with just a few hip openers and twists for fun and balance. Change. And from here, you're going to release roll onto your side again and lay onto your belly. Reach back, grab your ankles, lift here. And feel the massage. The floor is massaging your belly. This is good for digestion. Breathe. And you can drop onto one side and drop onto the other side. Optional. And back onto your belly. Lift one more time. And we're going to go into child's pose. Stay here for a few moments. With softness, a joyous light heart. When you look back at yourself, at your life, at your reflections, future plans, softness and joy and opening. Have that attitude, cultivate that attitude. A light heart. And you can sit up. I'm not gonna put you in Shavasana today. You can go into Shavasana after I say goodbye to you. But let's inhale the hands over the head. Bring them over the crown of the head, over the third eye, over the throat, and over the heart. And let's bow to our hearts for their forgiveness, compassion, and love. Namaste. All right. Thank you. If you want to go into Shavasana now, go ahead. Take a few moments all by yourself to just let go. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next class. Love you all and enjoy the rest of your day.